Oral questions, questions orales. The Honourable Deputy Leader of the Official Opposition.
Madam Speaker, this country is in a worse crisis than we ever could have imagined. 11 months after COVID has hit, thousands of lives, millions of jobs, and Canadians' freedoms have been lost. Canadians were told last March if they just followed the rules, we would flatten the curve and things would get better. Well, things are not better. The Prime Minister has failed in managing this crisis, and yesterday's report is proof of that. Canadians deserve some answers and the truth. When will the Prime Minister realize that getting rapid at-home testing, having reliable tracing, and getting Canadians all the data is his job, and he's failing miserably at it?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, from day one, we have been there to support provinces and territories in their responsibilities to deliver healthcare. We've sent rapid tests, support long-term home care, additional contact tracing and test processing capacity, and we've provided $19 billion through the Safe Restart Agreement. Our vaccine portfolio is one of the strongest in the world, and we are working with partners to ensure that we will be ready to deploy when the time comes. Madam Speaker, we've taken a Team Canada approach to COVID-19, and we will continue to work to keep Canadians safe and healthy every day.
I just want to remind members to keep the going back and forth down while there's question period, so that we can really hear what is going, what those who are speaking are saying. The Honourable Deputy Leader of the Official Opposition.
Well, Canadians are being kept in the dark by this Prime Minister. He's throwing numbers at them without any context. Too often the government can't tell us what activities are driving up COVID-19 numbers. One day it's restaurants, the next day it's weddings, then it's schools, then it isn't. Our lack of detailed data prevents us from tracking outbreaks and knowing the highest risk settings. 1 year after the first COVID case was flagged in China, Canadians still don't have answers. When will the government release the data that they are using to make decisions on this pandemic?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Health.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honourable Member for the question. Madam Speaker, as weather gets colder, we need to keep practicing the things that have kept us safe. The things that we've done that worked in the first wave: physical distancing, frequent hand washing, avoiding large or crowded gatherings. We see the numbers going up, but the pandemic isn't over yet. We must be vigilant. I know it's hard to be away from your loved ones, but by staying apart, you're keeping each other safe.
The Honourable Deputy Leader of the Official Opposition.
Madam Speaker, the Liberals' plan is not working. The cases are going up, jobs are being lost, Canadians are at risk. Now, Madam Speaker, we know South Korea was one of the first countries impacted by COVID-19. On Monday, it reported 230 new cases for a population of 51 million people. And they knew for certain that 202 cases were community spread and 28 were imported. And countries like Taiwan had early access to rapid testing, and that has helped them reduce their COVID numbers. Why has this government not learned a thing from other countries like South Korea or Taiwan, who are doing things right, and instead continuing to have Canadians fly blind on COVID-19?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Health.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And again, I thank the Honourable Member for the question. We know these are challenging times, and Canadians have stepped up to help stop the spread of COVID-19. The federal government has been working closely from day one, Madam Speaker, with provinces and territories to ensure that they have the tools that they need, that they feel that they need to respond to the pandemic. Modeling shows that we need to keep working at the measures that have kept us safe. This includes, as I said before, physical distancing, frequent hand washing, and wearing a mask. Madam Speaker, we will continue to do everything that we can to keep Canadians healthy and safe.
The Honourable Member for Charlebourg-Haute-Saint-Charles. Madam Speaker, we all remember the Prime Minister lecturing us outside Rideau Cottage, telling us to be prepared for the second wave. Now, 11 months later, there's still no plan. We're hearing lots of talk, but no plan. Thousands of lives and jobs have been lost. Hundreds of billions of dollars have been added to the national debt. But when we talk about the border and rapid testing and vaccines, that's their responsibility. Where's the plan?
L'Honorable Ministre.
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, while scientists around the world do very important work to find a vaccine for COVID-19. We are working to make sure that Canadians are able to get vaccinated when the time comes. That's why we're securing a range of vaccines and hundreds of millions of doses so that Canadians are safe and well served. Now, Madam Speaker, a few vaccine candidates have published some very promising results, and things seem to be moving very quickly. We will continue to work with our partners to ensure that Canadians will have access to a vaccine when it becomes available.
The Honourable Member for Charlebourg-Haute-Saint-Charles. Madam Speaker, at some point, we have to stop mocking Canadians. Canadians won't be fooled. This morning, the Minister has said we're going to have vaccinations in the spring. But at the same time, we've learned that the provincial premiers know that Pfizer will have 4 million doses, and Moderna will have them in March. Why can't the government tell Canadians that the doses will arrive in that quantity in March? Where is their plan?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Again, Madam Speaker, in these uncertain times, Canadians have responded to our calls for action, making changes to their ways of life. They've seen what works in Wave 1, and they know what will work in Wave 2. We need to ensure that we don't put our guard down. There is work ahead of us to stop the virus. Our modeling shows that we are reaching dangerous case numbers into the winter months if we continue current trends. I know these measures are hard, but we cannot afford to stop. We can't let our guard down. We must continue to do this work until all are safe.
The Honourable Member.
Madam Speaker, I have no doubt that the NDP opposition motion was well-intentioned, but it was very poorly executed. I point the honourable member to the speech from the throne, which committed to finding new ways to tax ultra-wealthy Canadians. I have a question in return for him, though, Madam Speaker. Why is it that the NDP, when given the opportunity to support a motion that raised taxes on the wealthiest 1% so we could cut taxes for the middle class, did they vote against it? Why did they refuse to support the Canada Child Benefit, which sent more money to 9 out of 10 Canadian families and stop sending checks to millionaires? Madam Speaker, we will always defend middle-class Canadians, and we're not afraid to ask Canada's wealthiest to pay a little more.
Honourable Member for New Westminster Burnaby.
Another parliamentary secretary for children and families asked very crudely this morning, who gives a fuddle-duddle about pharmacare? You know who cares about pharmacare, Madam Speaker? Children and families and over 90% of Canadians. And Canadians know how to pay for it too. Over 80% support a wealth tax and an excess profits tax. In this pandemic, billionaires have gotten $37 billion in new wealth. Banks have gotten $750 billion in liquidity supports. So with Liberals, why do banks and billionaires always come before Canadians? And why is the message to regular Canadians always fuddle-duddle you?
I want to remind the members on the Liberal government side at this point to not be heckling while someone else has the floor. The Honourable Member, the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Madam Speaker, I question the honourable member's appropriateness in his use of language in his question. In any event, I'd reiterate my point that we have committed to finding new ways to tax Canada's wealthiest. Madam Speaker, we will continue to move forward with measures that will support the middle class. When we raised taxes on the wealthiest 1% to cut taxes for the middle class, the NDP voted against it. When we changed the child care benefit to put more money in the pockets of 9 out of 10 Canadian families, the NDP voted against it. Madam Speaker, what separates us from the NDP is they're happy to wave their arms to make a point. We will not be satisfied until we advance policies that make a difference.
The Honourable Member for Wellington Halton Hills.
Madam Speaker, rapid tests are an essential tool to combating the coronavirus. Other countries have had rapid tests way before Canada did. The Prime Minister recently said it wasn't his job to approve rapid tests, implying it wasn't his fault, but rather Health Canada's. Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister is head of government. It's his job to oversee the regulatory approval process that leads to the approval of these tests. When will he take action to reform the process and get these tests into the hands of Canadians?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, the member loves to talk about numbers. I'll give you some numbers here. Over 4.6 million rapid tests have been sent to provinces and territories to date. Over 2 million to Ontario, 1.2 million to Quebec, 354,000 to BC, 327,000 to Alberta, 200,000 to Manitoba. Madam Speaker, the member speaks about moving rapid tests across the country. We've done that. We've done that, Madam Speaker.
The honourable member for Wellington Halton Hills.
Well, Madam Speaker, the government can rattle off statistics all it wants. The reality is it was late in approving rapid tests, and now we're late in delivering them to Canadians. There's a pattern here. The Deputy Prime Minister said in September that she went out of her way to say that the government wouldn't lean on scientists to get a move on rapid tests. We need rapid tests at our borders, so important to our airline industry. Air Canada and WestJet have laid off over 30,000 people and are losing tens of millions of dollars a day. When will the government take action to reform the process to get these tests into the hands of Canadians?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Madam Speaker, 1 minute the member asks for numbers. I give him numbers, I give him facts, I give him stats, and then he ridicules me for giving him what he asked for. Madam Speaker, we know the importance of having quick access to test results. Our department is fast-tracking the review of COVID test results, including rapid response test kits. We will continue our work with our partners, the provinces and territories, to ensure that people who need to be tested are able to be tested.
Honourable member for Wellington Halton Hills.
Madam Speaker, the FDA had approved 5 tests last August. Other countries had approved rapid tests way before Canada and have rolled them out across their country, at their borders, at their airports. Canada has yet to do so, and as a result, our airline industry is failing, and tens of thousands of jobs have been lost. The airlines are at risk of failure. The government has failed to act on rapid tests to ensure their survivability. When will the government take action, fix the process, and get these tests into the hands of Canadians?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary of the Ministry of Health.
Madam Speaker, I clearly told the member earlier that we have taken action. Testing, and we realize this, Madam Speaker, testing is one of the most important tools that we have to respond to COVID-19. And our officials, and I want to thank the Health Canada officials, Madam Speaker, they are working around the clock to review and approve new testing technologies. We've approved 6 of these tests, and we can expect more as the technology develops. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
All right, so today we have the continuing hold up with the Finance Committee, whatever's going on there. And then we have the Justice and Human Rights. We'll be dealing with Bill C-7, main estimates at PROC, and that's what we'll be doing. Impact of COVID on the women and pandemic, that'll be, report on supplying Canadian Armed Forces. This is the public accounts, so industry, science, and technology, they will be doing main estimates. Subcommittee agenda on procedure, so that's a subcommittee, that will be private. Human resources, skills, and the HUMA will be dealing with urban and rural and northern housing, Indigenous. Vulnerabilities created and exacerbated by COVID-19, and agriculture processing capacity, how much food and all that stuff we can process. Transportation, this is going to be a busy one today, as you can see. And official languages, that's been going on. You heard a bit from the House about that. So that's, and another busy one here. This committee is going to be hearing quite a bit, the subcommittee on Nigeria and Zimbabwe. Most probably hard hit from COVID. I'm not sure what they're going to hear about, and that's why they have meetings. And then late tonight, Indigenous and Northern Affairs, so that's going to be more estimates and numbers. So leave your comments below, like, subscribe, and have a good day. Stay tuned.